Here are 10 mistakes that I commonly see people who suffer with anxiety make. The first one is seeking help too late. While it's never too late to seek treatment, the later you leave it, the harder it is to recover. People may delay seeking treatment because they are embarrassed or not sure if they have a problem that needs medical attention. But if you suspect that something is wrong, then it probably is. And don't feel embarrassed. Anxiety is very common. You are not alone. The second problem is that when you do seek treatment, you rely purely on medication. Medication suppresses the symptoms but does not deal with the root cause of anxiety. This is a failing of the medical industry. I believe if people were offered therapy much earlier, the outcomes would be much better, and less medication would be needed in the long term. The third problem is doing more of the same. Without proper support and education, people suffering anxiety will develop safety behaviours to cope with the anxiety. But these behaviours actually make the anxiety worse. And the worse the anxiety gets, the more safety behaviours they develop. It's really important to be aware of your safety behaviours and work on reducing them, because they have the biggest impact on your anxiety. Number 4 is avoidance. It's natural to try to avoid what we fear, but the more you avoid something, the more you fear it. That's just the way that the brain works. Number 5 is isolating yourself. The reasons may vary. Sometimes there is an element of social anxiety, and shame or embarrassment makes you want to stay at home. In the case of panic disorder, a fear of panic attacks can lead to avoidance of more and more places, until you can no longer leave your home. This is called agoraphobia. Number 6 is substance abuse. Substance abuse is another form of avoidance. To avoid the unpleasant feelings and symptoms of anxiety, some people will turn to drugs or alcohol. But this is a slippery slope. Not only does it make the anxiety worse in the long term, but it can also lead to addiction. Number 7 is perfectionism. Setting unrealistic standards and striving for perfection can create additional stress and make anxiety worse. Try accepting that mistakes are part of life and focus on progress rather than perfection. Number 8 is avoiding physical activity. This is particularly common in health anxiety and panic disorder. Fear of a heart attack or associating the sensations of an increased heart rate and feeling of warmth with a panic attack can lead to avoiding exercise. Exercise releases endorphins and helps reduce stress, making it a critical part of managing anxiety. Number 9 is probably the most common mistake I see. Focusing on the symptoms of anxiety instead of the anxiety itself. People with anxiety spend a lot of time either trying to get reassurance that their symptoms are not something dangerous, or trying to stop or treat the symptoms, but both are futile. Seeking reassurance just makes anxiety worse, and you can't stop the body from doing what it was designed to do, and that is preparing to run from or fight something that your mind has perceived as dangerous. If you treat the anxiety instead of the symptoms will lessen and eventually go away. Number 10 is similar, fighting the feeling. Just like trying to suppress symptoms is futile, so is trying to suppress the feelings of anxiety. It can be tempting to try distraction, to take your mind off the feelings of anxiety. But the message that distraction sends your mind is that what is happening is so bad you can't face it. So your mind creates even stronger feelings of anxiety. The mindfulness approach to anxiety teaches you to just observe your feelings without judgment and let the feelings pass without any intervention. So, did you recognize any of these mistakes? Let me know in the comments below, and check out my channel for videos on how to reduce anxiety effectively. Take care now.